Hi everyone. So this is my second YouTube. Episode 2. I asked people if they had any questions of what they kind of would like me to answer on these YouTube videos, and kind of what content, because there's so much of interstitial cystitis to talk about, and the things that kind of go with it, the anxiety and depression side. So this time I'm going to be talking about relationships. A lady asked me how it affects relationships, and relationships don't necessarily have to mean a sexual relationship. It can be friendships, family relationships, So I thought, well, I'm going to talk about what I've, the questions that I've been asked. So, it does affect relationships, like quite a lot, really, because it's your life. You get pain every day, and it's not something that comes and goes. It's something that's there all the time. So you have to live with it, and you need to find someone that can live with it with you as well. And that can be hard, to find someone that wants to go on the journey with you and be supportive. So I was in a long-term relationship. It lasted 4 years until kind of things ended, but I wasn't diagnosed at the time. And from when we first kind of got together, my symptoms started to get worse, and was trying to figure out what was wrong. We knew that I was in a lot of pain a lot of the time, but we didn't know what it was. And obviously I've spoke before about all these different doctors that I would go to, spending time in hospital. So it put a lot of strain on the relationship, because that person needs to understand what you're going through, but truly no one can understand what you're going through except for you. And it's hard to explain to someone how you feel. And how can you be in pain 24 hours all the time? And before I got really ill, I don't know if I could comprehend how someone could be poorly and in pain all the time. It just doesn't, it's weird, isn't it? Like, how can that actually be something? But obviously it is. The relationship was fine a lot of the time, but I was working full time at the time, between 40 to 50 hours. So we barely really saw each other. But when I was at home, I'd be really poorly. So I'd want to just go to bed. And so he would cook dinner. And I suppose as a man, that stereotypical of a woman to do the cooking and the cleaning. So if he was at work all day, even if I was at work all day, he'd still want dinner on the table. But I wasn't able to do that, because I would make sure Oscar had his dinner, or I would make sure that my mum was able to cook Oscar a nutritious dinner, and then I would have kind of nothing or whatever to find, and then he would have to go and find what he wanted. And that seemed something so small, but I could see how maybe I looked like I was lazy, not really. You don't want to cook and all these other things. And eventually the relationship did fizzle out, and I was the one that ended it for other reasons. It wasn't to do with my condition, but when I sit and I look back, and when I got asked this question, I sat and thought about how that relationship had gone. And I do feel that my illness put a lot of strain on the relationship. I'm so much happier now on my own, because I haven't got, I know I've got my son, and obviously I've got him to worry about, but if we was to put that kind of to the side, I've only got myself to think about. If I'm not feeling well and I want to go to bed, I can do that. I can go to bed and I can go and spend some time, trying to recuperate. And if I don't want to cook dinner and I want something quick and easy, then I can do that. I haven't got anyone to kind of answer to, or anyone to, have that conversation with. Well, this is what I want, when then I had him to think about, as well as myself and as well as my son, and it was just a lot. And obviously being tired, I was so tired all the time. All I wanted to do was sleep. And obviously there's like the sexual side. With interstitial cystitis, is actually, it really hurts. And a lot of ladies, after they've had sexual intercourse with someone, get a lot of pain. And that's the same with me. About 5 minutes, couple of minutes to 5 minutes later, I was just doubled up in pain. So the last thing you want to be doing is that side of the relationship. You just don't want it, because, to satisfy somebody else, to then be in pain, why would I want to do that? And so, like, relationships, I'd say with a lot of people, it's going to affect things, and you really need to find someone that really thinks about you. I now know what I want in a relationship because of my illness. I know what I need to find. I know that I need somebody that's, going to be really caring, sympathetic, realise that I am poorly all the time, and not to be judgmental, because that's the last thing someone needs with a chronic illness, is someone to be judgmental. It's just, you really don't need it. It's something on top that you just do not need. So yeah, like, actual, like, relationship wise, it gets in the way, and it does play a massive part in maybe a relationship breaking down. And I'm in awe of the people who are in relationships and can carry on a relationship, because that person's got to be so special for them to be able to really understand what you're going through, because I know it must be so hard to kind of realise. I think there was more strain on mine because I didn't have a diagnosis, and that was really hard. We was constantly trying to find what was wrong, and I was always told there wasn't anything. So although I know he believed that I was poorly, it's like, how can he believe that I was poorly to the extent that I was, when I was always being told that it was all in my head. So it was tough. Friendship wise, friendship wise, it's really hard. I've lost a lot of friends through to the illness. I used to make plans with people, and then I would be really poorly, so I couldn't meet them and couldn't go. So it started with friendships. I feel like, as much as this does sound selfish, and it really does sound selfish, but I need friends who are going to come to me, going to come around mine for a cup of tea, or going to come around mine for a drink, come round to mine for dinner, come and see me. Because I struggle to leave the house, and I struggle to go and do things. And if I'm feeling poorly, I don't want to leave the house. I want to be sitting in bed. But I'd quite happily have a friend come round and come sit in bed with me with a cup of tea, and we have a good natter. But I haven't found friends like that at the moment. I've never found some friends that, they always want me to make the effort. And I don't know if that's because I cancel all the time. So in their minds, it's like, right, okay, Taylor can make the effort. She can make the plans, and she can come to us, and she can make the effort. But that's where it becomes complicated, because yes, I will make plans with you, but you also need to understand that I do have a chronic illness and a disability, where if I then become poorly, I can't come. We have a local festival that we have every year here in Kings Lynn, and I remember I had made plans to go to this festival. I'd done all my makeup, I'd done my hair, I got dressed. I was about 10-15 minutes ready to leave, and all of a sudden this pain come on, and it was so bad, to the point where 10 minutes to leave in the house I had to cancel. And I got undressed, I pulled my makeup off. Well, I actually didn't take my makeup off because I was so poorly that I just got straight in bed. And that's where, you know, they were like, you cancel right at the last minute. And I can see how that's really unfair on people, but I really can't help it. And that is the last thing I want to do. You know, I want my life to be where I've got several friends and I can go and do things and make the effort. But truly, I haven't got many friends, and that doesn't bother me anymore. You know, it used to upset me, and I used to think, you know, but I know that the friends that I've got do understand, and I haven't got many, but since that I've been more open about my disability and my illness, I've had a lot of old friends that have come out of the woodwork and come to me. And do you know what? They're the most caring, sympathetic, understanding people. I used to know them when I was at school, and they now come out, you know, 11 years later, 11, 12 years later. And they've been more of a friend to me than the friends that I've had for the last 6, 7, 8 years. And that says a lot, you know, because they'll say, you know, we'll make plans, but if you have to cancel last minute, that's fine. Don't worry. And that's what I need. And someone else, I said, you know, do you want to do something? They said, well, we can come round yours, you know, so you haven't got to go out. Perfect. So friendship wise, it is something that I completely understand why people get annoyed for me cancelling, but I truly cannot help it. And if I could keep to plans all the time and go out, you know, I used to see my friends go out, you know, uptown having drinks and stuff, and I'd be at home, and I really wanted to be there, but I couldn't, and I used to sit and cry because I couldn't be there. But now, like I said, I've just come to realise that if I had true, you know, them friends that I had before, if they were true friends, they would make the effort to come to me knowing how I am, and they just never really did. So this illness has made me realise who's there for me and who isn't, which is, you know, fantastic. That's something, you know, as much as it's upsetting, it's guttering to have kind of lost those friends. I've now got friends that are there for me, that I can speak to and I can really talk to, and know that they won't judge me because they haven't judged me. So yeah, that's kind of the friendship side. Family wise, it's just, you know, not a problem. So I'm really lucky because I do have a really good family network. My mum, my nan, my dad, and then my brothers and sisters. They're just all fantastic. They've gone through this with me, obviously, and when it first started, I was living at home, and they're there for me so much. I only have to text my dad and be like, I'm not feeling very good, and 5 minutes later, he'll be at my door. He's just dropped everything to come see me. And my mum's really helpful. She cooks me dinner. She does Oscar's dinner. She comes, helps tidy up, you know, because I can't do too much. So when it comes to family, I'd say it's made us a lot closer because I've become to appreciate them a lot more for everything that they do for me. And I feel when it comes to friendships, maybe it doesn't bother me so much because I've got such a good family network. You know, my mum, she is my best friend. She truly is my best friend. And as long as I've got my mum, I don't really need anybody else because I know that mum's there for me for every single aspect. There's my mum as my best friend. She's there for me all the time. with my son, you know, he is just the best little boy ever. It upsets me when it comes to Oscar a lot, because I wish he could have more of a life. And I feel like I've took his life away from him. And I want him to be doing things that his friends are doing, like going out to the zoo, going to all these different places and doing all these things that their parents do with them. And I can't. And I just feel like I have taken my son's life away. And he deserves so much more. He really does. He deserves a proper life that an 8-year-old can live. We are best friends, and he's there for me all the time. You know, he is a young carer. He does a lot for me. I can't bend down, so he comes and helps sweep up and all things like that. He'll get me drinks when I need them. You know, he's absolutely amazing. But he worries about me all the time, and I hate it. Why should an 8-year-old be worried about their mum being poorly? Like, it's just so unfair that this is how he has to be. And every day we wake up and he's like, are you okay today, mummy? How did you sleep? Because he knows that I don't sleep well. We don't hide secrets. And he'll come home from school and be like, have you been okay? Or if I say I've got to go to the doctors, it could be something really, really simple. Oh, does that mean you've got to go to hospital then? Or say my mum or my nan picks Oscar up from school because of something that's come up, or I've had to go for a hospital appointment. He's like, is my mummy in hospital? Because I've spent so much time in hospital, and all of a sudden I'll be home, and then the next minute I'm spending days in hospital, that he's now so scared that his mummy's not going to be there when he gets home. And that's just so horrible for him to have to think like that. I just don't want him to think like that. And I wish things were so different, and I wish he had a completely different life, because he is so caring. But I think maybe he is so caring because he's had to go through, you know, he's gone through this journey with me. So I do feel like children living with parents who have got disabilities and chronic illnesses, they come out on the better side, because he's never going to judge anyone, and he's always going to be so supportive to people and so sympathetic and know exactly how to be with people. And he just won't, I know that he won't judge, and he'll be so much better. But it still doesn't stop me from having major mum guilt on his behalf. It's made us become closer though, because we'll spend time, you know, in bed watching movies, and we read books every night. And we have the best friendship. We really do. We have the best relationship, which I absolutely love. I couldn't wish for a better son. I couldn't wish for a better child, and I couldn't wish for a better relationship between us both. So this illness that I've got, it's bittersweet. You know, it's not what I want. You know, nobody wants this, and I know that I've just got to get on with it. And that is where I'm at. I am at that stage where I'm kind of over knowing how I'm going to be. But I just, I don't, as a like a whole really, this illness has taken a lot away from me, but it's also given me so much. You know, I've been given perspective that maybe I wouldn't have had before. It's made me look at different angles of life, different people. So yeah, relationships as a whole, it's affected everything a lot. But I have to look at the positives, and I have to be thankful for what this illness has done relationship wise. So yeah, that's kind of, I don't know if I feel like I have covered it all, but maybe that you've got other questions which you can put at the bottom, like, you know, put some comments and ask me some other questions, and I'll be quite happy to answer them. I'll either reply back to you, or on the next video I'll answer them through there. But yeah, so I'll be back for episode 3. I want to talk about interstitial cystitis kind of in more depth, so people can understand what's going on with the illness and how they can maybe get diagnosed if they think there could be something wrong. But I felt like this was really important. This was a really important one to do and to talk about. So I made sure that I done this one first. But yeah, ask any questions. Get people, you know, get your friends and family to watch this, subscribe. It'll be, yeah. So thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. You know, I really appreciate everyone that's being supportive, because I really do just want to raise awareness for interstitial cystitis and chronic illness and invisible disabilities. Like, we need awareness for every type of thing. And that's just what I'm trying to do. So I just want to thank you all for watching these and commenting. Yeah, so follow my Instagram. It's the same as my YouTube, so it's my_catheter_and_me. I do post a lot of content on there, so yeah, make sure you follow me on there. I'm actually doing a giveaway at the moment, so yeah, go on there, like and share for the giveaway, see if you can be the lucky winner. But yeah, I'll end this video now, and we'll see you again next week. Oh, bye.